Hello, it's good to see you. This is kind of an impromptu, unexpected video, but I wanted to give you a little update on my lawn care saga if you're interested in it. You know, I was saying in the last video I did that it seems like nothing here can just be simple. Everything I try to do here turns into this Poseidon adventure. It just goes and goes, and it's crazy. I went through it with the threshold that I had replaced, the refrigerator, you name it. It's just one thing after another. I think it's just part of life. I don't know. It seems to be common for a lot of people. But two little hypothetical updates for the neighborhood before I get into what has happened with the lawn care saga. Theoretically, okay, so I've mentioned before, well, you might have heard me mention that Boots is back, the little dog over here. It's been barking in a few of the videos. They've had Boots out in the yard a lot more lately, and I don't know what's going on with that. I don't think they're trying to make Boots into any kind of Instagram star anymore. They had a big fence put up, so but it doesn't look like a permanent structure, so I'm not really sure what's going on. They have some kind of privacy fence up over here, allegedly. And but Boots is back because I actually saw they had Boots out in the front yard the other day. And okay, so Scratchy moved out. Now there's Joe who lives over here. That's not his real name. Joe over here, the one who won the lottery. He had two women living there with him, Itchy and Scratchy. And it wasn't totally clear what the nature of their relationship was. And then Scratchy moved out. Scratchy went away. I don't know. Scratchy has not returned. But this very young woman moved in over there, and she's still there. And I wondered at first if it was like his daughter or something, because she's young enough. She's probably about 20. She's really young. I don't think it's his daughter. If it is his daughter, it's disturbing, because they were making out a little bit in the driveway the other day. I was not snooping. I was out there mowing the yard, and there they were. I don't mean like, hot and heavy or anything, but they're making out. So I'm assuming that she's not his daughter. I hope not. But I can't call her Scratchy because Scratchy was the other one. I'm not sure what to call her. I don't know her name. I don't know. There's Itchy. Itchy is still there. And then there's this Scratchy 2.0. I don't know what to call her. So there's that. It's been quiet. They were sawing over there and doing something. They had a chainsaw. I heard a chainsaw, and then that stopped. But it's been pretty quiet. But it's basically quiet around here, I think, because it's been so freaking hot. It's been 90 or above every day now for like at least 2 weeks. We have had some days where it was almost 100 or a little over 100, and it's just been really hot, and it's humid. All the humidity. Oh God, you have the humidity with it. Oh man, it's been awful. So like hardly anybody's doing anything outside because it's just so hot. I mean, you can't really do anything. I get out and mow when I have to, but I take lots of breaks. I drink a lot of water. It takes about twice as long to mow every time now because it's just so hot, and there's really no good time to do it. I know that's not very interesting. Olive really wants to come in, but I can't make a video with her in here because she just destroys everything. So, what was I saying? Oh, he hasn't said anything else about that side of beef he wanted me to go in with him on. Maybe he found somebody else to do it. Maybe he decided to keep the whole thing. I don't know. I haven't seen much of him except for the one little episode in the driveway while I was mowing. Okay, we are now into month 4 of Trip working on the Vroom Vroom bike. It still doesn't run, but it did catch on fire. Allegedly, it caught on fire. I don't know what happened. I don't know why it caught on fire. I didn't even know a motorcycle could catch on fire. It makes sense though. I mean, they have a gas tank, so I get it. The only reason I knew that was because, okay, he's out there messing with it. And I would tell you, when he does get it started, it now sounds worse than it did when he got it. I don't know if he's made it sound ragged and awful deliberately. It's way louder than it was. It's much louder. and it backfires all the time. It sounds like one of those hit and miss engines. If you've ever listened to one of those, one of the two, what is it called? A two-cylinder? I forget what it's called. A hit and miss. Anyway, a hit and miss. It sounds a lot like that when it runs, only way louder. It's super loud. And he was out there working on it. And you can hear it in the house. I mean, it's extremely loud with all the doors and windows closed. You can hear this thing when he starts it up. And it sounds super, super ragged and gross. And you get used to, he'll crank it up. And it backfires and then it knocks off. And you'll hear him yell and swear. And you can hear him striking the motorcycle with whatever he's working with. Or he beats the driveway with a wrench. You can hear him out there screaming and swearing. But this was different. I was here, and his shrieking and screaming sounded different. It sounded scared, like he was screaming like he was scared. And there was this ruckus, there was a commotion, and then I hear sirens a few minutes later, and a fire truck shows up. My son actually walked up there to see what was going on. He said, "Mom, it was on fire." I said, "What do you mean it was on fire?" He said, "The motorcycle was on fire. He caught it on fire." I said, "How did he do that?" He said, "I don't know, but nothing surprises me anymore. Nothing at this point surprises me with him and that thing." Oddly enough, though, bad news for us, it didn't destroy the bike. It actually still runs. Doesn't sound any better. They were able to put it out, so I guess it didn't damage it too much. There was a tree above it with branches, and theoretically it may have singed the underside of the branches somewhat. And he's still working on it. He was out there yesterday trying to start it. It sounds awful. And yeah, 4 months. 4 months, and it sounds worse than it did when he got it. And it didn't sound great when he got it. It's worse now. And I guess at this point he's just never going to give up, and I'm just going to have to resign myself to living with the sound of that motorcycle forever. It's just never going to stop. He'll be out there 90 years old with a walker. He'll be beating it with his walker, yelling at it, and like the old guy in The Simpsons, that'll be Trip in 60 years. So, unfortunately, the saga with the Vroom Vroom bike also continues. And that's all I know about that. Okay, now for has anything else happened? No, that's, even in the heat, he's out there. I thought in the heat he would stop. No, he's so determined to make that piece of crap run. I still don't know what kind of motorcycle it is. It's some weird, I don't know. Anyway, he's very determined to get that thing to run. I've never seen such determination. I admire that. I just wish he would pick a quieter pursuit. But I guess I should just be happy it's not bagpipes and he's out there in the yard. And I think that might be the only thing I can think of that would be worse than listening to that thing. The Vroom Vroom bike. Okay, so I'm trying to find someone to treat my lawn. And I know a lot of people say, why don't you just plant a garden? When I was growing up, we had a garden. And I don't mean like a little hobby garden in the backyard. I mean like a football field size garden. It was massive. We lived on a huge plot of land, acres and acres and acres, and we had this huge garden. And my brother and I were tasked with keeping it weeded, and we had to tend the garden. That was our job. And I spent hours and hours and hours gardening throughout my childhood. I hated every minute of it. And I made a promise to myself as a child that I would never again garden unless I had to, or unless I wanted to. I don't ever want to garden again. So I always wanted a pretty green lawn. I wanted nice green grass, a pretty lawn. That's what I wanted. I do not want to garden. I love the fact that other people like to garden. I'll buy their vegetables. I don't ever want to do it again. I know how. I just don't ever want to do it again. It does not appeal to me in the slightest. I want green grass. That's what I want. Okay. So I had this one company that was taking care of my lawn. They come out, they seed it, they do all the treatments, and they aerate in the fall, they overseed, they do the pre-emergent, they do everything. All I have to do is mow it and weed eat it. Well, I had this one company doing it for 3 years since I bought this place 3 years ago. Can you believe I've been here 3 years? It's crazy. So we had this one company, and we will call it, I think I called it Kiss My Grass in the last video where I talked about this. Okay, so Kiss My Grass, that's not the name of the company. Kiss My Grass had been coming out here and treating my lawn. The problem is they haven't done a very good job. I have weeds everywhere. Their treatments are very sloppy. The last time they were here, they burnt up a big spot on my yard because they dumped fertilizer on it. So I'm done with Kiss My Grass. My contract ended with them. I do like a yearly thing. Well, that ran out. And what I really wanted, I wish I could show you. Glenda the Good Witch, my current ex, I wish I could show you how beautiful his lawn is. It looks like beautiful dark green carpet, and it looks like that year round. Even in the middle of winter, it's beautiful dark green. It's gorgeous. I've never seen grass that beautiful. And that's just the most middle-aged thing I've ever said. It was beautiful. It's beautiful. Even in January, it's beautiful. My yard dies every winter. The first frost, it just dies. It's kind of like, it has a lot of Bermuda grass in it, which I learned. It kind of dies off in the winter. It turns brown. It just dies. The problem is, the Kiss My Grass people, they did my front yard in Bermuda grass. There's Bermuda grass out there, fescue, and there's another one. I don't remember what it is. But some of it doesn't die in the winter, but it's just blotches. So my yard has these blotches of green in it, and then the rest of it is brown. And the backyard is different again. The backyard is not done the same as the front. The backyard has Bermuda, fescue, and 2 other things. I do not know why. The backyard has even more weeds in it, though. So my yard looks like garbage in the winter. It looks terrible. I wanted a yard like Glenda the Good Witch has. Now, Glenda the Good Witch, I've mentioned before why I call him that. He's an ex, but he's a witch, but he's the best of the witches. I have 3 exes. There are 3 witches in The Wizard of Oz. Glenda the Good Witch is the good one. This is the one I'm talking about. We won't talk about the other 2. They don't factor into anything here. Glenda the Good Witch only lives like 3 or 4 miles from me. So I know they can make my yard look like that. So I found this other company, the one he told me who managed his yard, because I asked him back in January. I saw it. I said, "Who in the world does your lawn? It looks so much better than mine." And he told me the name of the company, and we'll call them the Weed Men. That's not the name of the company, but the Weed Men do it. I said, "Well, when my contract runs out with Kiss My Grass, I'm going to give them a call and see if they can make my yard look like this." That would be nice, because it looks way better than mine. So anyway, I think I mentioned this before. So I called the Weed Men, and one guy came out, and he was nice. He was nice enough. He came out and did the estimate and all that. And then he said, he gave me the name of some guy. He said, "This guy is going to be contacting you." Well, nobody contacted me. I tried to call the company. I couldn't get anybody to call me back. So then I sent a message and asked for someone to call me, but they didn't call me. They sent out another guy to do another estimate one day when I was gone to work. And I mentioned all that, and he caused this big kerfuffle, Well, and it was funny, because right after I made that video, or while I made that video, maybe it was right after I made it, the first guy that came out and did an estimate called me. Now, I don't know how that was like a week and a half ago. I could be wrong on that, but I know it was at least a week ago, maybe 2 weeks. I don't know. He called me, and he said, "Yeah, I understand you," because I had called him and had to leave a message. He said, "I understand you're trying to reach me." I said, "Yes. I need to know what's going on. You came out and did an estimate, and you said," I can't remember the guy's name, "you said somebody was going to contact me. Nobody contacted me." And he said, "Well, I'm sorry. Well, don't worry about it. You're on the kill list." I said, "I'm on the what?" He said, "You're on the kill list." I said, "What is that?" He goes, "You don't know what that is?" I said, "No." He said, "Well, we're going to have to come out and kill off all your grass." because he said, I remember you. He said, I remember you're the one that had all the weird different types of grass and you had a bunch of weeds. I said, that's right. I have a lot of weeds in the back that Kiss My Grass never did anything about. He said, you're the one that had all the weeds. I have you on the list. He said, in mid-July, when we need to just burn everything off and start over, mid-July is the best time to do it. And then we will reseed in August. We call that the kill list. We're going to kill off everything. It's going to take 3 treatments spread apart by 1 to 2 weeks. We come out, we spray everything, then we give it a week or 2, then we come out and we spray it again, and then usually we have to do it a 3rd time to kill everything. So your yard is going to be totally dead. And once we have everything killed off, then we come back and we're going to reseed it and start over. You were on the list with about 100 other people that we're going to do this to starting the 2nd week of July. And we will be out that week to start the first treatment. You're definitely on the list, trust me. I said, are you sure? He said, yes, you're on the list. Don't worry. We're going to be there. You don't need to do anything right now. I said, but don't you need a payment or something? He said, no, don't worry about it. You're fine. You're on the list, I promise. So that was the end of that. Well, I waited. I think it was like a week and a half. And nobody came. Nobody's been here. I haven't heard from anyone. So, it's just kind of nagging me in the back of my mind, like, what's going on with that? Because I haven't heard anything. So I called the company yesterday. What's today? Thursday. Oh, no. The first time I called them was Tuesday. I left a message. Nobody called me back. I called again on Wednesday and left a message, and nobody called me back. So today I called and made it sound super urgent. I said something like, will you please call me immediately? It's very important. I must talk to you right away. Somebody actually called me back. And they called back within an hour, so that was pretty good. So this person calls me back. This lady calls me from the weed men, and she said, I understand that you have an emergency. I said, yes, I do. I've been trying to reach y'all for a while, and I need to find out when you're going to come out and do my lawn. And she said, well, who are you? So I told her, and she said, I don't have your name in here. What's your address? So I gave her my address, and she goes, yeah, I don't have you in the system. We don't have you down for any upcoming treatments or anything. I said, but so-and-so, I gave her the guy's name. He said I was on the kill list. And she said, I'm sorry, the what? What did you say it was? I said, well, he called it the kill list. She said, I don't know what that is. I said, well, it's where they come out and kill off all your grass. He said it was a thing that they do. And he seemed surprised that I didn't know what it was. And she said, oh, no, we refer to that as the burn list. Yeah, that's what you should have called it, the burn list. I said, but he didn't call it that. She said, well, that's what it's called. It's the burn list. We call it the burn list because we burn everything off. I said, do you literally burn it? She said, well, with chemicals, we kill it. We burn it. Anyway, I don't want to get into semantics with this lady, like whatever. So I said, am I on the list? She said, well, let me check. So she puts me on hold, and she comes back and said, you're not on the list. You're not on here anywhere. I don't have any record of you. I have nothing on you. I don't know anything about you. I don't have your number, your name, your address, anything, anywhere. You're nothing to us. She said, should you be? I said, yeah, because this guy came out from your company and said everything was fine. I was on the list, whatever you want to call it, the burn list, kill list, whatever. I was on the list, not to worry. He said, trust me, it was all fine. And she said, well, none of that is true. You're not on any list. We're not scheduled to do anything at your house. And I said, well, that's very strange. And she said, let me call him and I will ask him about it, and then I will call you right back. This was at 1 o'clock today. So I waited until about 4:30 and I had not heard anything from her. So I called the guy back. We'll call him Tommy. So I called Tommy back. I said, Tommy, What? Well, I called him. I left a message again. Nobody ever picks up the phone. I always have to wait for them to call me back. Left him a message. He called me back within 10 minutes or so. And I said, what is going on? He said, what are you talking about? I said, did the person from the office call you and talk to you about me? He said, I don't know. Nobody's talked to me. What do you want? I said, do you remember coming to my house and telling me I was on the kill list? He said, the what? I said, you told me I was on the kill list. He said, what's a kill list? I said, burn list? He said, I still don't know what you're talking about. I said, do you remember me at all? He goes, no, ma'am, I don't. In all fairness, I'm sure this person goes to a lot of houses, and he's been to a lot of houses since he came here, because he came here now almost 2 months ago. He said, what's your address? I gave him my address, and he goes, yeah, I don't remember you. I said, okay, well, you told me that starting in mid-July, you were going to be going around and killing off the lawns that needed to be killed off to be reseeded. He said, yeah, that's true. And you told me not to worry and to trust you that I was on that list. And he said, I don't recall that. I said, that was like a week and a half ago. He said, well, if I really did come to your house, you would have a folder with our information in it. I said, I have that. He said, okay, then if I did come to your house, there should be a customer number written on the papers inside that folder. Can you give me the customer number? Now, unfortunately, the customer number had been covered up, because when I was telling you about this before, I covered up the name of the company with labels, like these stickers, and the customer number was covered up. When I tried to remove the sticker, I couldn't read it. I said, I can't read the number. It's covered up by a sticker. He said, right. So you have it. You say you have a folder, and you're saying I gave it to you. But you can't read the number because of a sticker? That sounds kind of weird. It was almost like he was insinuating I was lying. Well, I don't know why I would lie about something like this. I said, I have your card right here. That's how I have your phone number. It has your name on it and your number. You gave it to me the day you came to my house and did the estimate. And I do have the paperwork here, the numbers covered with a sticker. I don't know what else to tell you. He said, well, without that customer number, I can't help you. What do you expect me to do? And I said, well, I expect you to help me. That would be nice. And he said, well, without a customer number, I can't help you. I'm sorry. I said, well, you wrote the customer number on the paper, so you had to get that number from somewhere. He said, yeah, it's generated by our system. That's where the numbers come from. The software generates a number for each customer. I said, okay, well, if you were able to access it to write it on the paper, then surely you can access it some other way. Can you not go into the system and search my address or my name? Do you have to have? What if everybody lost the number? Would you just not ever be able to help someone? Would that customer just be lost forever? He said, well, all I know is if you can't give me the number, I can't help you. Now, normally, I would have told these people to screw off by now, long before now. After the experience with the second guy, I would have told him to screw off. But I'm telling you, if you could see Glenda the Good Witch's grass, his yard, you would understand why I want to work with these people. But it's almost like they're making me beg them to let me work with them. I keep picturing my ex's yard in January and how beautiful it was. It was beautiful. It looked exactly the same as it did in the summertime. Beautiful dark green carpet. It's beautiful. Absolutely gorgeous. I want that. I want that so bad. I can't get it out of my mind. I don't know. So, and then he said, well, you need to call the office because I don't know what you want me to do. I said, I already called the office and they were going to call you to try to figure out what was going on. And he says, well, why would they say that? I need you to explain to me why they would say that to you. I said, I don't know. It's not my company. I don't own the Weed Men Company. I can't explain the practices and policies and procedures of the Weed Men Company. Can't help you. I don't know. I didn't realize it was going to be this complicated to get someone to come out and treat my lawn. I've never had this kind of... I will say this for Kiss My Grass. Now, they didn't do a very good job with the weeds and all that, but I never had all this trouble with them. In fact, they never even came out to my house. They looked, you know what they did? They looked at my property on Google Earth and judged how much of an area they were going to be treating. And they said, okay, here's your price. Would you like to do it? And I said yes. And I gave them a payment over the phone. And that was the end of that. And they came out and treated, and it was all good. No problem. But these people can't figure out who I am. They apparently all have amnesia, and they have the inability to pick up the phone when it rings. Which is kind of weird because this company actually has really good reviews, and I don't mean like generated by bots. I mean, I know other people who use this company, and they can't say enough good things about them. They rave about the Weed Men and how awesome they are. I don't understand why I'm dealing with such a problem. This man ended up getting very spirited on the phone with me. He kept coming back to the fact that I didn't have the customer number and the fact that I said it was covered up with a sticker, and he said that just sounded strange. It's just strange that you have the paper, and how odd is it that it just so happens that a sticker landed on top of that customer number and now you can't read it. I just find that very odd. So, well, be that as it may, that's what happened, and I don't have the customer number. I can't read it. I tried to peel it off, and now I can't read it. That's the truth. He said, well, if you say so, but you're going to have to call the office. I already called the office. They said they were going to talk to you because they didn't understand what was going on. He said, well, I don't understand why you think I can help you. I said, I don't understand why I thought that either, because clearly you can't. He said, all right. He said, I tell you what I'll do. I can at least do this for you. If I have time tomorrow, I will talk to the ladies in the office, and I'll try to figure out what happened. And if I get a chance, I'll do that. And if I remember, I'll give you a call and let you know what I find out, if I find out anything. Other than that, I can't help you. I mean, I got nothing for you. Sorry. So I'm not holding my breath that anyone is going to call me tomorrow. And I'm not sure what to do. I'm not doing too bad, though, if it's not the biggest problem in my life, but it takes my mind off other things, I guess. But, yeah, my mother she has Alzheimer's and has gone downhill drastically in the last 6 months. And I think that's exacerbated my frustration with this. It's like, I have other things going on that are way more serious than this. And, it's going to cause some major changes in my family probably before the end of the year that are not going to be fun to deal with, or it's not going to be fun for anybody. But, it's like, I just want you to come treat my lawn. How do they get new customers if this is what they do? I mean, surely they don't treat everybody this way. I just don't understand. It seems like they're being kind of jerks to me, and I can't figure out why. I don't think I've been a jerk. I waited. He told me to wait. They'd come out. He said this other guy would contact me. He didn't. I don't understand. But I'm not holding my breath. I'm not expecting a call. But what I'm afraid of is, at this point, if I go with another company, and there are plenty of other companies around here that would do it for me, and I've already looked into a few, and there are a couple of possibilities that I may go with that I'm sure would do a fine job. I'm just very disappointed in the Weed Men, because I had been led to believe by several people that they were just fantastic, excellent customer service, wonderful work. I've heard that from multiple people who use them. I'm very disappointed. I can't believe it. But my concern now is, like, say I find another company and I get them to come out and do it. Then the weed men would show up. That's when they would show up. But if mid-July is the best time to kill everything off, I want to get it going so they can go ahead and start reseeding in August or September or whenever. But they need to kill everything first. And you need time to do that. You have to do it in stages to kill everything. I want to have time to get that done so we can reseed. So I don't want to wait around too long for them to come out here. But yeah, my concern is if I find another company, then the weed men will show up and say, well, we're here to treat your lawn. Even though they don't seem to know I exist right now. But then I guess I would have to call them and say, yeah, I know you said you think I don't exist, but I'm officially letting you know that I don't want you to come to my house, which you claim to not know about. But if I don't tell you that, you'll show up anyway. And even if I did call them and tell them not to come, even though I don't expect them to, would they still not come out? Or would they then come out because I spoke to them? This could go any number of ways. I don't know. I don't know. I am very disappointed in the weed men. If you live in the Piedmont Triad area, I know you've heard of this company. It's a very big company around here. And they have a great reputation. I just don't understand why trying to become a new customer has been so hard. But anyway, that's the update on that. They still haven't come out. They haven't done anything. And I'm glad I called because according to them, they didn't know they were supposed to. So I had a feeling, I had an inkling that they weren't going to come. I don't know why. I just thought, you know what, they're not going to show up. Maybe I just manifested that into reality. But I had a feeling they weren't going to come. And I was right. They weren't going to come. They had no plans to come out here. Apparently there is no burn list, there is no kill list, but there is a burn list and a kill list. It's like Schrodinger's cat. It's there, it's alive and dead at the same time. It just depends on who you ask. So, yeah, I don't know. That's about it. Other than that, it's been pretty quiet. But yeah, my mom's not doing too well. But I didn't expect to have to deal with such a problem with the grass. But at this point, I feel like just taking a flamethrower to it and just doing it myself. Just burn it all up. I don't care. But anyway, that's it. And I am going to get ready for bed so I can get up and go to work in the morning. I hope you have a great night or day or whatever it is where you are. And I will see you again really soon.